Okay, welcome back to the System Open Series 2019 from Paris. But something's happening here, right? And we're going to take advantage because they're getting started now. We're going to take a few minutes to speak. What's happened is the semi-finals, one player from each table has refused to take part in the stream. Not refused, that's the wrong word, right? Declined, right? And so we have jumped over to Hyperspace, and we've got a round 4 game getting ready to go underway. And it's going to be a bit of a mind... it's going to be a bit of a head game going on because it's the first time I've ever had to do so many ships and colours, right? But we'll get through it. Anyway, what I've not done is I've not introduced Stephen Gage from Firestorm Womperats in Cardiff, also captain of XTC Team Wales, right?
Hello.
Oh, no, wait, they can't hear you. What have you done? Hang on. Talk.
Hello.
Right, wrong. Right, now.
Hello.
There we go. Right. There's so many dials. Okay. So XTC captain, right?
Yes.
And all prepared for Krakow this summer?
Not quite.
Not quite? We were talking about mercenaries and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, which we've pretty much got sorted now. Just got to finalise the list this week. Got a good idea what we're going to be taking.
Yeah.
But still one we really want to finalise.
Yeah, okay, cool. And you've got to do it now. It's 5 players per team, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of like free to choose factions, but you can't repeat. You can't have 2 players playing the same faction, right?
5 of the 7 factions.
Yeah.
It represented in the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, part of the thing is you want lists which can cover different holes.
Yeah, cover gaps.
Different roles.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a couple of specialist ones and a couple of all-comers.
Yeah.
Which we think is the right way to go about it.
And also, with being a team championship, and you've got to think about the matchups beforehand. You have to submit the list beforehand. What's the deadline for list submission?
31st of July.
All right, so
3
Tuesday,
days.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Okay. Ooh, good to work. Okay. One other thing I'll say, well, obviously, right now the game's getting underway. There's not much happening. They're just kind of deploying. The people at home can't see that, but because there's one other thing I wanted to discuss before we went live, being as how this isn't the semi-final. Not to say it's not an important game, but take advantage of this opportunity. One of the things you will notice is I'm wearing a different shirt this weekend, right, than my normal shirt, which is like the crit or the evade token that I have t-shirts made up to make it look like dice. No, this weekend this shirt is in remembrance, in homage to one of the French members of the community from one of the major teams here in Paris called Louis Venochet, who died 3 weeks ago after suffering from lymphoma cancer for 3 years. So one of my things about that when I found out, because I'd met him a couple of occasions, I'd watched him play. I think he's one of the first people. Okay, so I have to be careful when I say this, but as far as I'm aware, it's one of the first times someone that I've recorded on stream has died or has passed, right? So this was kind of like something that was important to me, and I wanted to kind of mark the occasion. And I've not really mentioned it today much, but make sure that everyone's aware that this is what this shirt is for. This was his shirt. This was the shirt he would play X-Wing in, and that was my way of just trying to make a sort of remembrance, is that I would wear this shirt, and then that way whenever people saw me, that was kind of like the link, was to help them remember what was this is a sad occasion as well for the French community that he passed. He used to be one of the national team judges. He went to Belgium in 2015 and won the national champ. 2015 or 2016? 2015 and won 2016 and won the national championship with 3 defenders, and went on to the world championship there. So he was a good player and one of the most standout members of the French community. And like I say, you've seen, for example, his team members have mimicked one of his tattoos on their arm this weekend as a kind of remembrance, because if it hadn't have been for that, he would have almost certainly been here this weekend. Okay, so with that, let's move on over to the table camera, as this will be the quickest way to look at the list. As you can see, they kind of deployed in opposite board corners, and they've kind of made their way out. Right, now, it's a mess, right? There's a lot of ships. It's going to be hard to keep track of, right? So let's take a look on David's side of the table, right, which is the First Order. He's playing 4 Zeta Squadron survivors. Is that what they're called?
The TISF-based TISF.
With cluster missiles. And 2 Epsilon Squadron cadets, right? Now, you can see we've marked the bases. So as far as for the Zeta Squadron, 3 of them have a color and 1 doesn't, and on the Epsilon Squadron 1 has a yellow disc and the others don't. The Epsilon Squadrons are actually the ones that have got 2 base pegs, so they're a little bit higher than the SFs, making things a bit easier to tell the difference between them. On the other side of the table, Fabian Zäch, he's playing a bomber swarm with 4 scimitars with barrage rockets and Captain Jonas with barrage rockets, right? Now, in this case, we put colors on 3 of the scimitars and on Captain Jonas. Captain Jonas being marked with a red base marker, blue and green and purple, right? So it's going to be a bit difficult to keep up with them, right? But we're going to do the best we can, right? It's not going to be too hard. It's just that I've never had a situation this complicated before on stream, and being as how the other reason for picking this game specifically was because both players made the top cut today, and so they're doing well in the hyperspace for now, and so it's definitely worth picking their game, because it's not often you get to see 5 bombers these days, and David is playing the same list he was playing in the top cut, so this is kind of like a pseudo top cut game. Really, it's 2 of the people that got eliminated from the top cut have been paired together in the hyperspace, and so it'd be something interesting for them to watch. This weekend as well, we've got the inauguration of that new floor rule system, right?
Yes.
That's been another subject that's been going around of how there are now penalty points and warnings and such stuff. And they've been putting that into force. I think at least yesterday there were 15 warnings. From what I can see, they're keeping track of it just in case they have to inform FGOP. And so this is stuff. Pay attention to the fact that those floor rules now exist. And whilst 1 penalty point isn't a big deal, right? It can happen by mistake, it's definitely something to pay attention to, right? We saw, also be aware of your language, Lots of people have been swearing on stream. So, and if you're on stream, that kind of error is worth double penalty points, so be careful. Right, we had 198 players signed up yesterday for the System Open, and 188 made it because I think there was several people from Southeast England weren't able to catch the Eurostar due to power failures, right?
Yeah, a number of them got cancelled, so a few people who were going to be coming out late yesterday couldn't get on one, so. And the ones in this morning then wouldn't get them in. So one yesterday morning couldn't get them in on time. Yeah. So it's about.
How did you travel over?
I flew.
Oh, right. Okay, from Cardiff.
It's one of the few places I can actually fly to from Cardiff.
Well, this is the thing is I was mentioning the other day because I talked to the judges team and stuff like that. We discussed some things, and I was discussing really for me, Paris is one of the best places in Europe to have the European Championships. For some reasons, but mostly because anywhere in Europe you can get a flight to Paris.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm in Barcelona, getting a flight to Birmingham or to Krakow is not so easy. And maybe you have to do a layover or get one specific flight, or maybe travel to another airport that's 2 hours away in the other direction. And it's a lot more difficult, whereas virtually any airport in Europe flies to Paris. If not Paris Charles de Gaulle, Paris Orly, or El Bourveleu. And so you've got plenty of options there. And it would be a good option, I think, for a European Championship. The only problem would be the location. Obviously, they couldn't put it together. For example, this location isn't big enough for a European Championship, and so they'd probably have to move to the outskirts of the city, more further outside, where they can get a larger presentation area.
Which makes traveling trickier.
A little bit more trickier, but Paris is pretty good there. For example, I arrive at Charles de Gaulle, and I'm able to get a bus that comes straight to Paris. And that drops me off about 3 kilometers away from here, and that's €6. And then from there, because it's 3 kilometers, I pay for a tram that took 5 minutes to take me down here, and that's €1.90. So for less than €8, I can get from the airport to the city centre. And it takes a while, the bus, right? Because it's one of these local buses that goes all the way around. It goes from the airport, goes all the way around all the cargo terminals, and then goes on the motorway, but then goes into some other small town and goes all the way around this town, and then comes into Paris. But yeah. Anyway, back to the game. What are your thoughts on this kind of matchup?
Right. Well, David's list it just throws a lot of dice. It's a bit odd because he wants to really be moving second and shooting first at the same initiative, because he needs to target locks to get the cluster missiles off. But he wants to be shooting before the bombers to try and strip the focus off, prevent the barrage rockets coming back.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done really well throughout the rest of the event.
Yeah.
He's as he has in this event, this game, he's taken initiative, thrown a lot of dice out, the first couple of shots are just to strip focuses, and then the rest of them are to do the damage.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why he took first player.
Well, he got given it.
He got given it.
Yeah. It was. He's got 200 points. I think. Well, wait. I don't know now. What's his? Wait, I got his list saved up on here. His list is, one of them had 200 and the other one had 199.
Well,
so he's on 200. So Fabian had the initiative.
Fabian gave him initiative. He probably thought making it more difficult for him to get the target locks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if he doesn't have the target locks, start opening engagement, Fabian has a huge advantage.
Yeah.
The other thing is obviously that David's ships can shoot backwards.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah, with that turret arc. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what paid dividends for me throughout the event.
Because you've been playing with the Resistance A-wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being able to just skip past and still shoot backwards. Yeah.
Skip past, take a mod, rotate.
Yeah.
The SF's exactly the same, not quite as quick.
Yeah.
But same principle. The time on target is much better
than
the bombers are. It's essentially when the bombers have to turn, he's going to have a free turn of shooting, or a free modded turn of shooting.
Yeah.
On them. So I wouldn't be surprised now if he saw the SFs coming quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because the bombers are going to have a shot this next turn.
Yeah.
Just need to focus to get the missiles off. So
yeah, and of course he's coming up against, you've got barrage missiles going up against cluster missiles in this case, and so the cluster missiles are the ones that are able to then damage another ship next to it, right?
Second attack. Spend another charge to do an additional attack on the ship next to it.
So in that case, that's giving him, especially when Fabian keeps his ships together. Makes the damage output from David's side of the table a lot higher.
Yeah, and as Fabian's not going to want to spend focus on defense.
No.
If he spends focus on defense, it's not just not having the mods on offense, it reduces the number of dice he's throwing on offense. So I think we'll probably see the SFs coming a bit quickly.
Yeah, probably those.
And the bombers hang back.
The Zeta and the Epsilon that are closest to the camera right now will probably be taking 3 turns around the gas cloud. Maybe the other 3 that are slightly further back in second row would be free banking. Maybe the orange one even turning for a 2-turn to fall in behind them. And that last one that's over towards the closest one to Fabian would probably just be going straight from there, right?
4 forward.
Yeah. Just creating that kill box. The bombers are just going to walk straight into.
Yeah.
I mean, even if Fabian can foresee that coming, there's not going to be much he can do about it, just from the position he's ended up in.
No. So 2 Epsilons go first.
And
5 forward. So yeah.
So I don't have to keep saying it. Yeah. I just type it in the chat. Yeah.
So yes, the first one did come in really quick, and it looks like free bank in his hand.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, it just kind of slots him into that. He's creating like a perfect little kill box there, where all his arcs are just focused into that area, and the bombers are just going to walk straight into it. There's not much option for them.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the rearmost SF is going to be able to get a lock.
No.
So. Because even a hard 3 might not quite get him in range. It's going to be very close anyway.
Yeah. And this is he's just putting target locks down on that green bomber. There's not going to be much he's going to be able to do about it.
No. See. So you get the standard firing to get the lock with that one. Probably on the same target.
Of course.
No, he's
going
next
for
to
the next one. Well, I guess, yeah, if he's going to get so many hits off, he might even wipe that one bomber off the board and wants to try and take advantage of spreading fire as much as possible.
Yeah, well, with cluster missiles, anyway, if he does shoot that one, it might not.
They're just trying to double check the range.
I'm not sure. He would have the option of taking the second shot on the other bomb, which had been locked anyway. So
the judge comes in to help them check range for the target lock.
Yeah.
They probably should move that yellow one out of the way.
Much easier.
Yeah. So it looks like he might not be able to lock the one he wanted to, so he's had to move it over to the other one.
Which important is obviously it'll move into range.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
And that's kind of the advantage of having David to have the initiative, being first player. He gets the opportunity to to move, like you said at the beginning, like he's declining the target lock, so he's managed to get away with that one there.
Yeah.
Thanks to being the second player. It's hot.
It's really hot. It's not as bad as on the floor though.
No, no, I agree. Yesterday it wasn't so bad, but because it was mostly rainy. But when I got here on Friday, it was terrible. I was like, no, it wasn't. It's cooler than it is in Spain, but it's just so humid. It's like 40% humidity, and I was just walking from like the hotel to here was like sweating.
Yeah, we didn't realise the hotel room had air conditioning until yesterday morning either.
No?
So Friday night, it was really hot.
Where did you guys stay?
We stayed in one of the Ibises just up the road.
You're probably in the same place as me. When I came in, my one was switched on, and it felt really cold, but then I keep waking up in the middle of the night hot and sweaty anyway, so I don't know. It's right above the bed. I kind of figured like, oh, I'm going to freeze. Okay. All right, now here come the dice, the crazy dice. Yeah. So, dice time. Dice for days.
So checking for Jonas first.
Yeah, one other thing I should say is for some reason Fabian's got broken bombers, and so there's two of them that don't go on the peg, and they're just kind of like, he's just kind of mashed the peg in between the two missile pods. They're just kind of like facing down. It's not because they're on magnets, it's just like that's the way they're held there. So one hit and a crit gets re-rolled with the Jonas for 2 hits and a crit, 1 evade and a focus on the Zeta Squadron Survivor. Lost 2 shields. The one that's got a little turquoise icon on it, little turquoise base marker on it. Did I? Yeah. Okay. Spends a target lock to reroll. Gets 2 focuses. Makes 3. 2. I think it's 1, 2 hits. 1, 2 crits maybe. 2 blanks.
Yeah.
Right, 1 face up. That's a wounded pilot, or stunned pilot, sorry, and that's a fuel leak. Green one's over here, right? That one. Which one is it? 3rd one. Right.
Then I'm gonna use another for splashing it to another. This one.
Yeah, stunned pilot and fuel leak.
I will take this one. Yes.
And that's an evade. So that defends against that one. Yeah.
So.
One, 2, and 3. Without mods, and 2 blanks. Done. He still gets to fire for simultaneous fire.
Yeah. And now he's switching over with cluster missiles for the second bomber.
Mm-hmm. Well, no
locks,
hits there.
Then I have this one. Then we want to check range.
The problem he's got now is he's got a lock on the one bomber,
Yeah.
which is already dead.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to. Yeah.
Doesn't want to waste a charge.
No.
So
On this one.
Yeah. So firing primary weapon, and gets 2 blanks.
yep.
No target locks, so nothing happens there. The damaged Zeta squadron. Oh no, the one behind.
No, maybe 2. No, 3.
Gets a hit and a hit. 2 hits. Defense roll, it's like 1 evade, a focus, and a blank.
Yeah, probably take the damage. Now that's
Yeah.
actually all right for Fabian because he's kept all of his focuses. So he's sending back 4 loads of Barrage rockets here,
Yeah.
and it looks like he's got. He might even have a bull. Start this off on his speed. Looks like he might have the bullseye for the rerolls as well.
Mm-hmm.
With the rocket? Yes.
So barrage rockets, fires,
Spends a focus
gets
for 3.
3, and 1 evade takes 2. First damage card.
Panic pilot.
Panic pilot. So then goes 2 stress tokens.
Then Mr. Dead shoots him. Fuel leak as a medic.
Yeah, this is the one that's dead, firing,
Then he's alive.
and gets 1 evade and a blank. So there. And it's a crit. That's a structural damage crit.
These two cancel should take. So,
And that's another dead ship, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
It's 3 hit, 3 damage.
yeah.
that's number 8. You are in my bullseye. Spending a charge.
So yeah, spend a charge reroll
Yeah.
with bullseye. No help.
And 1 evade.
And
Loses another shield. Three blanks. Or is that? No, I guess that's not a blank then.
No.
Looks like. I don't know what that other one is. But anyway, 2 blanks. He loses a shield. Takes 2.
but these are removed. Yes.
And there they go. So, interesting first engagement, right? Points in favour of Fabian, right?
It's not over yet.
Yeah.
Still got the 2 ties to go.
All right.
So-
Sorry. The epsilons. Okay. So hit and crit by the looks of it, and that's 1 evade and a focus, and obviously another evade. And there's another 2 hits there, and that's a focus and a blank.
It's the number. The same with the blue one.
It's a
And
crit.
that's a fuel leak.
After suffer a treat, I take
What's up?
Oh, that's it.
What? Oh, sorry. I thought you. Right. Now they're finished, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now they're back to dials. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. There go the focus tokens. Whew. Right. So interesting first engagement. Yeah. For now, Fabian ahead on points, but having lost one of those bombers so quickly, but it worked out in his favour, no, right? With the target locks, that they wasn't quite able to put. David wasn't quite able to put much damage on the other ships.
No.
So it's kind of worked out okay for Fabian there for the first engagement. I would have expected things to go a lot worse for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to spend any of the focuses. He
Yeah.
didn't have the chance to.
No,
on
yeah,
the
of course,
died. So
yeah.
but there's no point in spending it. By then, so
Yeah.
he had his full his full alpha strike go back.
Yeah. Ooh, what have I done there? Whoops, wrong button. That was the button I wanted to press. That should send a message to chat to make sure to keep on point with the discussion. That if players do decline the opportunity to appear on stream, that is within their right. The stream is not a requirement of the event. There are hundreds of events take place every month without a stream, so please keep that in mind, that there is no requirement to appear on stream. The players do so under their own volition. and that we should also try and respect that decision. And yeah, there's not much else really I've got to say about the matter. I mean, it's becoming more and more common, is what I'll say, and a lot of it might have to do with the attitude that certain people in the chat might display towards certain players, that people don't want to put themselves in that kind of position.
Some people are quite nervous. They
True.
don't like putting themselves out there to be criticised, especially if they're not that experienced at the game.
Yeah, true, 100%. And I've made every effort in the last 4 years I've been streaming. I've made every effort to try and make everything that's right behind the table edge that you can't see, that there's like nothing there to distract you. There's really no other reason to feel different in this game than you should do in any other game. I've made as much of an effort as possible to make that the case. But yeah, it's like streaming has become so prominent since I started doing it, and and we've seen several situations where people have made maybe honest mistakes, maybe not so honest mistakes, and they've been crucified by the community for said mistakes, whether or not they were intentional or not. And some people don't want to put themselves in that sort of situation. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the warnings that were given out yesterday, there were a lot of occasions where people did something wrong, and it's not that anybody was in it actually. It's not like we can turn around and say whether or not they did it intentionally or maliciously, but that's the sort of situation we've got to put up with in that respect. These aren't, for certain reasons, you have to remember this stream is not right. We'll take advantage of this opportunity now to remind you that this stream is not part of FFG or organized play. I am a completely separate entity, and I receive no support in that matter. So what is the support I do receive is from Patreon, where all the money I receive through Patreon or through Twitch Prime is the money I get that I put into paying for the travel expenses and the accommodation for these events. It's thanks to that money I receive that you are able to watch this event. If it wasn't for that, especially in the case of France, you probably wouldn't have a stream. Now, lately, it's gotten to a situation where I've gotten involved in, for example, in Madrid, there was another stream there as well. And this is something I'm not really enjoying too much. I don't really enjoy the idea of competing in this respect. I've always done it out of having a certain kind of love for doing it, for enjoying doing it. And so, for example, like the first 2.5 years that I did it, it was all my own money that got spent on everything. The equipment and the traveling, everything was all my own money spent on it, because that was my way of doing the hobby. Everybody else wants to go out and buy 5 of the latest ship. Mine was to buy cameras and to travel to tournaments and film them, because that was the way I enjoyed the hobby. Now, since then, we've seen it kind of been turned into like more of a, not business, but kind of like, a profitable enterprise is maybe the better way to describe it. And that's made things a bit more difficult, and so now more people are interested in doing it. And like I say, I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. And so going to tournaments and having to compete with other streamers, that's something I don't really like doing, and I try to avoid in a lot of cases. In Madrid, Spain is my home turf, really, and so I kind of figured I missed the national last year because my father died, and I couldn't make it. It was impossible to make it because my mum was going to come stay with me that same weekend. I couldn't be like, okay, mum, come stay with my wife and my kids while I go. It wasn't a possibility. So they had some other guys do it, and so now obviously those guys have the expectation that they can do the tournaments as well, and so we both show up, and it's not a pleasant experience for me. So I try and pick and choose. And so in this case, in France, for example, specifically, if I hadn't have come to France, you might not have a stream of the French System Open, because they don't have people in their community that do this sort of thing. If I go to Poland, then I know there's people in Poland like Legion Krakow that do it, or Raven Squadron. If I go to UK, now I've got to think about Firestorm Squadron or Weekend Warlords and all these other people. And, like I say, I do it because I enjoy it. I don't want these extra headaches. And it's not that anybody's doing it maliciously. It's just it makes things a bit more difficult, and it kind of instills that sense of competition. That's something that I don't really enjoy about it. But anyway, that's the way it is. So once again, if you do like what you're seeing, please do consider contributing on Patreon. There's a link in the chat now. Every penny that goes through Patreon goes directly to paying for flights and accommodation. And when there's anything left over, it normally goes straight into equipment, which Stephen can tell you right now as he looks around the table. There's a lot of equipment. Now, this is kind of like, there's a reason for that, is that like I could probably do it with less stuff, but I've kind of got to a point where I've always wanted to create a certain experience at home, and because I'm working largely by myself, I have to try and make things as simple and as automated as possible. So yes, I have a laptop that is a stream laptop. I have a second laptop that I use to control the information you see on screen, so I'm not constantly playing with a stream laptop. That laptop just sits there and does nothing the whole time, right? Because that's what that's doing, is streaming. I have a tablet so I can keep track of the chat. I have a little control deck that lets me switch cameras. Oh, they're off, are they? I have a mixing desk. I have the capture card. I have a TV to help me watch the stream game in a slightly larger quality and without the overlay on it, to be able to keep more up to date on what's happening on the stream. It's kind of messed up in that respect, right? It's there's a lot of stuff going on, and maybe it could be simpler, but I've kind of got to this point where I'm trying to set a standard as well. And everybody else that streams uses the TTT software, right? And so everything ends up being like a clone, like a Gold Squadron type clone, whereas I've tried to kind of set a separate standard, like to be more advanced than that with my overlays and with the information that I provide. And sometimes it's easier. Since GDPR, it's become harder.
Yeah.
Right. I used to be able to put rankings on the screen in between every single game and be able to share all sorts of information, and it's not quite worked. And other things that like I could have done are just too difficult to get other people to collaborate with me. Like for example, with the organizational team. Like I made a software for registration. Which, did you go to Nerf Herder?
No.
So I used it at Nerf Herder, where it was basically you just showed up with your name and the QR code of your list, and we just scanned the QR code and everything went into the system. We knew your list was legal or illegal because it said so straight away. We asked if you were okay to go on stream and blah, blah, blah. And that was it. That was registration done. And then that meant that we had in an Excel spreadsheet the entire database of what was being played. And so we were able to get stats immediately after the first round, saying like, yeah, there's only one person playing a decimator, or there's 20 X-wings and they're all wedged and stuff like that, you know.
Rather than have to leaf through 190 odd printed sheets in multiple different languages.
Well, yeah, which is a problem now, right? And so I did that stuff, and that was working really good. But it's just like trying to convince organizational teams to adopt it, you know. It's just like, you're going to change the registration, so 2 hits get faced with 2 blanks. Yeah, another 2 damage cuts face up, direct hit.
That's a
dead
Zäch squadron.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. No, it's sometimes this happens. Yeah.
Oh. I need this cable's twisted. So yeah, now having lost that ship to a direct hit kind of makes things a lot more difficult for David. Most of his ships are not, obviously they can fire, right? But they're heading in the wrong direction as well. They're heading towards the board edge. Their maneuvers are going to be predictable, and the bombers can pretty much just follow from the positions they're in right now.
They're not in great position.
No. 1 hit, gets faced with 2 blanks.
No, we wait.
Yeah, on the first bomber. So 1 hit and a crit, 1 focus and a blank.
Taking it.
1, and the crit is a wounded pilot. Wounded pilot.
I get stress. Yep. Then you can shoot. Yeah. I start with this guy on him. Range 1.
Here we go. And nothing. There's a bunch of focus results and a blank.
Yes. Range 2.
Trying to fire on the Zeta Squadron Survivor.
There'll be a range 1 primary.
Yep. 1, 2, and a blank. 1 focus and a blank. So 2 damage on the Zeta Squadron. And the damage just kind of stacking up against David now.
1
1 crit.
Bender charge. He's got him in the bullseye for the reroll.
Yeah. Gets 1 and 2 crits, I guess, and 2 evades. So just takes 1 shield.
That's half points on another one.
Yeah. Well.
Then it's my one.
Right. So now the epsilons
This one can only
attack.
So I think it's range 1. Yep. Yeah, and you didn't spend the focus, right? Yeah. You didn't spend. No. I had a crit into crit.
All right, and a hit and a crit.
No, you spend it.
Gets faced with a focus, gets 2 evades. No damage there.
How much is
On to which one is it? It's not Jonas. It's the one that's got no marker. It's the top one. One that's still on half points. And now 1 hit, 2 crits, and a blank and a focus. He's got fuel leak as well, so
That's going to be another one for that.
from the fuel.
right. That's a wounded pilot again.
You get that after the crit. So you get the crit first. So then you get that's the crit. Yeah, hit. Crit. No, it was crit. That's a crit. Crit. Double crit. Crit.
Right.
He might have dealt
Oh,
with the
direct
order.
hit. Oh, they've kind of. He's not. Yeah.
Crit. Hit. And which gun goes first? Or it doesn't matter for this one. And then I crit. No, sorry, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and then anyway.
He's dead anyway. As a weapons disabled, as a weapons failure comes out. Oh, I got the wrong ship. I thought they were because of course that was the squadron that's firing the other direction. Yeah. So that was a pretty good roll, pretty good attack there for David. Definitely started to and put them on equal footing. They're back to 0 to 200 to 200 MOV with 93 points killed each. The problem being that Fabian now has only 3 guns on the table. Okay, and they go back to dials.
Yeah, Fabian's got only 3 ships on. Probably limited to primaries next turn.
Yeah.
But most of David's stuff's pointing the wrong way.
Yeah, that's true. David's going in the wrong direction right now, and of course the bombers are like, what's the initiative values?
2.
They're all 2s.
Yeah.
Right, but then David's moving first, right? So of course he's going to have the space.
Yeah.
And I guess just short maneuvers from the bombers. Just kind of banking, one straighting, and the one that's facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw the top of the Zeta Squadron survivors, so the top FO.
Yeah, the one that's furthest from the camera.
Just clear out, yeah, and then the ones directly below it, just do a hard one, block the lanes.
Okay, yeah.
I have no idea what he's going to do with the ship down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Because it's out of position. I think it's going to be difficult for it to get a shot next turn.
Yeah.
And it's probably, the bomb that's next to it.
It's probably going to K-turn.
It could K-turn. It's got a 5K, so it's going to clear.
Yeah. It's got the wounded pilot action crit. Right.
It's only actions.
Yeah.
That affect that anyway. So if he K-turns, he's not getting an action anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So not an issue this turn. Next turn though.
Maybe.
Start with this one.
Okay.
So yeah, it clears out with the.
Maybe we should remove them.
Right.
Yes.
So marking some ships off here.
Yeah.
Maybe I stole this one. Which direction?
So
Straight. Straight.
It looks like it might be K-turn in.
Mm-hmm.
Which at least will give him a shot, but it does clear out a lot of space for the bombers to go into.
Yeah.
And then on the gas code, no real effect. Since he's stressed anyway.
Yeah. Rotating the arc backwards. Ooh.
So one bag.
Nice.
Just.
Probably see him focus rotate as well.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, his arc might be pointing back.
Do you think the microphone can hear you when you talk there?
Probably not.
What are you saying?
It says arc's pointing backwards, so he's choosing the barrel
Yeah.
rolling, so that's maybe thinks he wouldn't get the shot if he stayed out.
Yeah, true.
So
Right, free K turn there from the bomber. That's already on half points, and with the wounded pilot.
looks like this was going to be a bump, maybe. Yeah, that doesn't go down.
No.
So that's good, and probably a K-turn here as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can tell this is Hyperspace. The audience numbers have dropped considerably. We were having 363 last game. We're at like 100 viewers less. Right.
No, just bumps there as well.
Yeah, just bumps into the Zeta Squadron Survivor. No, bumps into his own ship. So I mean that's good. It means he's going to be able to get a shot off on that Zeta Squadron.
Range 1.
Yeah.
So he's got no mods on any of Fabian's shots. So
yeah. So he's going to have some lucky rolls if he wants to try and get that ship off the board this turn. Specifically speaking, that's the one that's damaged right now, right? The one that's on half points.
It is.
So just a bunch of focus results there.
That was Jonas. They're no good. It's 3 shots on the damaged one.
Range 2.
Yeah. So firing on the bomber gets 2 focus results and nothing there.
So range 1 with a focus.
Yeah.
Where's the damage on them? 3 damage on him. And then
Yeah. Firing on the one that's damaged.
Oh.
Terrible roll with a focus token. Even Fabian letting out shrieks of delight. Right. So hit and
Right. Oh.
yeah. Get 2 blanks.
It's 2 damage.
2 damage through. 1 hit point left. Don't swear, Fabian. That's a warning and 2 penalty points because you're on stream. Gets nothing there on the last attack, and they go back to dials. Oh gosh. Oh no, there's still the epsilons. Wrong dice. One hit.
One.
And
takes 1.
Yeah.
But he's still got 2 left.
And last shot now, the round from the epsilon. Hit and focus. French national championship. French national champion Francois Corret moves through to the final of the System Open event, main event, having eliminated Mathieu Barbeau with Corin Luke. And Francois playing Hatchet Man, Blinded, Vader, Jendon, Palpatine, and so on and so on. So we already have our finalist, and it's one of those players that has made the finals several times. Like he was in, I think he was in like one of the first finals for the French the System Open last year, I think.
Someone who travels as well.
Francois.
Yeah.
Francois Corre. Yeah, he travels some, but not so much. Like for example, System Opens, he hasn't travelled much. He'll travel for the Europeans. He's been to Europeans. Yeah, but the System Opens, he doesn't really travel for. He's very busy. Like last year, for example, if you go back and you read Phil GC's blog from when he played at the French National Championship, he said Francois hadn't played second edition. He hadn't played X-Wing for like about 6 months at the time. He'd only played like 2 local tournaments and that was it. And he'd come to the national championship and won with the. And he was playing the Death Rain, Red Line, and maybe Vader. There was 2 Punishers and something else, maybe Whisper as well. Who knows? One of those things. It's been a while. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, he won the final in November, and now is into the final of the System Open. And that's interesting because he's got an invitation already because he won the national championship. If he wins so he's already got the ticket paid for. He's already got the flight paid for because he's won the national championship. So
maybe they'll have him defer it.
Whoever gets into the final, I get the impression like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what happens. Out of these two, not out of these 2 players. Of course, we're not watching the semi-final, are we? Between Lucas and Manish Fulhauber, whoever gets to the final, it looks like you've probably got a flight to Worlds. It doesn't matter if you win or not.
For you wings v Hatchet Man would be an interesting final.
Alec. Let me cut the microphones for one moment.
I will take target lock on Jonas. Yep. Jonas alone. Starting here. I don't know what I'm doing right now. It's like. I moved him a little bit. Yeah. Maybe like nudge him back, like. Yeah. That's alright. Something like, I don't know. Something like that was on you, is it? Yes. Jonas. And then it's this. Oh, you have action. I have an action. Oh. Take a look. Look-see. Okay. Target lock. Yep. Jonas? No, him. This one. Yep. One straight.
He's gone outside to make a phone call. So, interesting development here. Francois Corre wins the national championship in November. He has a flight to the World Championship paid for. All right. He's now in the final of the System Open. If you win a System Open, you get a flight and a hotel paid for. Right. What does that mean? Well, it means that the person who's going through to the System Open final against Francois, if they win, everything's okay. Francois still has his flight, and the other person who wins has the flight and a hotel paid for. But if Francois wins, then it means that he gets the flight and the hotel, but then the prize that's not claimed is from the national, meaning that the national prize of the flight would then pass to the finalists from the national event in November 2018, who was Ruben Creo from Spain. Ruben, I'm almost certain you're hearing this, or somebody is going to be telling you right now. There's a possibility you might have a flight to the World Championship. So, anyway, let's wait and see what happens. I've not been paying attention to this. The damage happening here. He's lost some shields. Yeah. So we asked the organised play representative here, and yeah, he's stumped, and he's gone outside to make a phone call. But yeah, it would appear that there's a situation, so we don't know if regardless of what happens in the final, we're not sure if the finalists from the system open would get the flight, 2 hits on a bomber, or if the flight would move down to Ruben Creo from the national final. I'm using the wrong mouse.
That bomber should have been off last turn, to be fair.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's held up and it's done its job.
He's also got the focus, so he's got to get the barrage rockets off into something before he goes.
I'm going to send a quick message to Ruben.
I will use 2 because I was going to ask shoot 2 times. Jonas. Oh, so many tricks. Pain.
Okay, so 1 hit and 2 crits, and it looks like he's got an evade, 2 evades.
Yeah,
it's called loose stabilizer on Jonas.
Oh, that's not good with position Jonas in at the moment.
Yeah. And another hit, 2 hits there. Rolls a focus and an evade. Takes 1 damage. I've got hiccups suddenly.
And this, I think, don't have arc on Jonas, right? No. I will shoot him then.
So 1 hit, 2 blanks.
Evade there.
And an evade and a blank.
It's a blinded pilot. Oh, yeah.
And he's got blinded pilot. 1 hit, 1 crit. Focus and blank.
No blinded pilot. Hit, crit.
1 hit and a crit is a panic pilot, so double stress. Oh, and damage is stacking up on Fabian's side of the table now.
That bomb was already dead, though.
Yeah.
I think he just shot it because he had nothing else.
Yeah.
You can do
2.
it.
2.
Yeah, what's
1 left. Bloody game. It's so
hang on. So yeah, I've been getting confused, and I've been putting the damage cards on the wrong bomber. Right. That second bomber's got no damage cards. The one that's got the purple base marker on it, it's got no damage cards. No, it does. It does. Oh, Jesus, I've got no idea what's going on. There's 1 damage card there. This one's dead. This one's dead. This one's got 1 damage card, and the top one's dead now. Yeah.
Yeah, Jonas got 1 as well.
Okay, Jonas has got 1, and that one's got 1. So they both got 1 damage card now. All right. Okay.
And there's a massive problem here for Fabian.
Yeah.
Jonas has to do a straight maneuver or take a damage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if he's going to do a straight maneuver, he's going to get really close to that board edge.
Yeah, and bombers aren't great at turning anyway.
Yeah.
He does a straight maneuver. He's locked into a hard 2 next time.
Yeah.
He's probably just better off taking the damage.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he gets to repair the card for free, so it saves him the action. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. It might be the best option here is just take the damage and just tank it out.
20 minutes left. No rush. No rush here.
Do they have the 2K turn still, the bombers?
No, 3K.
No. Right. 3K.
Might fit that angle, though.
It might fit. He'd still take the damage from it, though.
But it'd be in a much better position, though.
Yeah, it's not a straight maneuver. 1 second.
All right. No. I'm Jonas. Not certain. I don't think so.
Well.
Alright. France was paying for a plane for a hotel basically.
Alright, okay.
Like we talked about, it didn't really make sense to drop down the national one.
It was weird, yeah.
But when you think about it, it's like France has got a flight in his hands.
Yeah.
If he wins the flight and hotel, he gives the flight in his hands away to the other guy.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense like that. So regardless what happens here, both players have got a flight paid for to the final. In the final, both players have got a flight paid for. done. Right.
So
So apologies, Ruben.
There's going to be a very happy opponent for Fabian. So
Yeah.
for Francois.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be something like they probably don't know it right now,
No,
but
they don't.
when they get through to the final, they'll be like,
Still playing,
okay,
so-
I've got to win to get the flight paper. They're just gonna go, no, you don't. It's done. Okay.
Literally just playing for the big trophy.
Exactly. Who gets the wooden one and who gets the glass one? Did you realise that Farn came? This is like, I think he's been to every single System Open Europe now. He came today he came this weekend, pretty much just because the only thing he's not got is the second place trophy, because he won in Madrid, and he was like, I might get it, and so he lost the first 2 games. He's like, well, I'm gonna drop and go see Paris then. It was like, I've got no chance now, so he went straight out.
Alright.
So yeah, so there we go. Like, just to make sure everything's clear, whoever makes it through to the final from the game between Lukas and what's his name, Manish Volhauber, Lukas Bolak, who we saw in the last game, and Manish Volhauber, when they are finished, whoever wins has automatically qualified for a free flight to the World Championship.
Oh, it looks like he might be bumping with Jonas.
Yeah.
That's not good because
Stupid game. Take the focus. Now, I mean, I had to do something risky now.
There's no reason to lie.
Not sure if this way.
Yeah, he might not. Right. Okay, and reports from the front tell us that the semi-final is currently going very well for Lukas.
Because of the
Lukas.
stabilizers?
So did he take the damage from? Yeah,
Yeah,
there
he
it
took
goes,
the
loose
K-turn.
stabilizer. Took the K-turn, it fits, and he takes the damage and repairs the loose stabilizer.
because it's not an action to do it,
Yep.
which is what the opponent's querying right now.
Yeah. Does it get repaired? Oh, yes, it does. No, yeah, we don't need to see that.
Range 2 shots. I
Okay.
really hope I don't die. You can die? Oh, then I do that. Easy peasy. Yeah. Lemons
Yeah.
easy. Here, eh?
So Jonas fires. Doesn't get anything. Focus on a blank.
What is the damage status on the different ones? Jonas 2? 5 and 2. Jonas 2? Yes, 4 left. 5 left.
Yeah. So
5 left, 4 left.
It's range 1.
the red Zeta squadron has to fire on Jonas as he's in contact with the other bomber. 1 hit.
Ah, that's from a dead guy here. No. This is from me. Ah, okay, sorry. Alright. I thought it was for Finland. There is a rocket coming now. No. Jonas? Yeah.
1 evade. 2 evades.
This is going here. Yes, Jonas is...
1. 1 hit.
No, I think it's 3.
Range 3
And
mark.
blank and 2 focuses.
Him, eh? Yep. Oh, no. I still have
Spends focus.
Spends the focus.
Oh. I mean, he can only shoot him. Or Jonas as well. Jonas as well.
Is Jonas out?
No. Jonas is in.
Is?
Yeah.
But I
Jonas is range
3 or 2.
3, I would say, in arc.
Yeah, this has been a confusing game, eh? Okay. 1 focus and 1 blank on the die results. Repeats with a target lock. Gets a focus and a blank again. No damage there. As it stands, Fabian ahead by 1 point. 15 minutes left in the game. And they're playing like it's the final minute of the game, man. They're going through it pretty quickly. Jonas 4 hit points left, and the Scimitar Squadron that's left over 5 hit points left. I've lost the tie somewhere. I've got 4 alive on my screen, so it's not. So no. Hang on a sec. What am I looking for? Which one? This one died. Yeah. And that one's only got 1 damage card that I can see. think that's right now. We'll have to wait until David moves to be 100% sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've got it there.
Change the score.
Yep. Yeah, of course. I hadn't, for some reason, I hadn't taken the ship up because we were talking about all this stuff about flights and stuff, so I hadn't paid attention to that.
So, Fabian's ahead, but better position for David.
Yeah. Well, I
Potentially.
mean, well, let's say Jonas goes a 1 straight. Maybe he gets blocked by the Zeta Squadron specialist, right?
Yeah.
And the other bomber takes the free K turn.
That bomb's probably will be.
He can't risk not firing with both ships because he'll be taking too many shots in return.
Yeah. If David slow rolls it as well, because she's still got the hard one on the FO dial.
Yeah.
That one in the middle can do a hard 1, maybe a hard 2 to clear the stress with the rear one. There's a good chance they both get a shot on Jonas.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Jonas probably wants to bump.
Right. Here we go. Hard 1 from the Epsilon Squadron Cadet.
So I immediately regret my win. It is what it
A
is.
hard 2 with the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a focus, and there's a big area where Jonas does not want to be.
Yeah.
Can you help me with?
Oh, this was interesting. Well, didn't see this coming. The bank to the to the right from the Zeta Squadron's survivor.
No, he probably He probably just wants to try and get that block on.
Yeah.
On
And
Jonas.
have those 2 hits at range 1.
Yeah, and to be honest, if Jonas does go to the right, he's got a shot.
Yeah.
His arc's pointing to the rear, so
Yeah.
3K.
Yeah. Like I say, he can't risk not firing with both ships. He needs to keep arc. And Jonas
Stressed. Yes. Jonas
goes straight
Straight, so you go straight into the
into the Zeta
Special
Squadron.
Forces.
Yeah. The Zeta Squadron Survivor. What a weird name, Survivor. Oh, I just keep thinking it's going to be Zeta Squadron Specialist or something. Wasn't that what they used to be? Didn't they used to be called that?
Yeah, the fluff on it is the survivors of Scarif Base.
Yeah, but like
Not Scarif Base, the big gun moon thing.
Scarif. No, yeah, the Starkiller base.
Yes,
yeah.
that's it,
Okay. Yeah, but still, it's just a weird name.
So nothing on the bomber from the specialist.
Yeah. Jonas, 2 hits,
He's got 2 left. He needs an evade.
1 evade.
He survives.
Spends the focus to block both.
This one I found Jonas. I can see here.
Yeah, he can
So it's like a range 1 and a range 2.
Yes, certainly.
Maybe I think he can.
You can.
But maybe it's from this
Fabian was getting very excited there.
I will remove this one.
Or like that, yes. But I think you see me.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. They were checking the arc from the
Range 3.
the Epsilon Squadron Cadet.
First one.
1 and a crit, blank
Oh,
and a
that's 2 blank.
focus,
Sad times for Jonas.
and that's a console fire.
I already engaged this round. Is
Next
this
one.
range 1 as well from him?
I think so.
Wrong way.
But
I
maybe
put
not.
cards on there.
Oh, moved him a little bit, sorry.
Down to 2 hit points on Jonas now.
Can we just...
Yeah, it might be range 2 actually. Maybe.
Checking
Yeah,
the range, looks like 2 though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Rolls gets
So 2
1,
hits.
2 hits. And focus and blank.
He's got no mods though.
So down to...
1. No, he should be dead.
Down to 1 health.
No, he says 1. Okay. Because he had the loose stabilizer that took a damage, and you got those the 1 card. Well, I don't know. Okay. Down to 1 hit point, and they go back to dials. They're enjoying the game. You can see that much in them. And they're definitely playing it well. What is the...
So now you're flying off the table with everything? Maybe.
And from what I understand, Lucas is doing well in the semi-final. And Francois through to the final already. We just got to wait for confirmation on that.
There's a 3 tokens on there. 3 tokens.
The thing is with Francois, it was a list against what he was facing in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Over quick because he catches either the aces with Vinder and Vader.
It's dead. Yeah.
It's dead. Yeah.
Well, he's going to be up against if Lucas wins, he'll be up against 4 U-wings.
That's a lot to chew through.
It's a lot of health, and that's what we saw when he was up against Damien as well. Damien was like having a lot of difficulty chewing through, and those 4 U-wings done very well at in Italy at Bologna. The system opened there before the points changed.
Did okay in Holland as well.
Yeah, and in fact, some of the Dutch people, after seeing it do so well, have brought it here. Most of them have got knocked out, but Manish is still going. We'll have to wait and see. Supposedly it was... Lucas is still going. Lucas says that it was actually one of the Swiss guys that invented the list and took it to the system opens, and that's where the Dutch have seen it, and they've started copying it. So we'll have to wait and see if Lucas can put his stamp on it as being like the definitive list for the time. And can you imagine if it's like... if that's the sort of thing we get into with the meta now, is that the second that like 4 quad U-wings become a thing, like Rebel Beef is gone, but now we've got quad U-wings. And
there's 2 things here.
It's only I die if I don't do an action. Basically.
It's a slightly weird meta, this event.
yeah,
Because
it's the experimental point, right? Yeah.
It's even more experimental than normal because it's the new points, but with the old wave. Because the new wave was not legal for the system open.
True, but you say that, but then like in the hyperspace where it is legal, not many people have taken it. So I don't know up to what point like people who have taken a new wave. I'm not sure. And then one dude was playing Finn in the little transport pod.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Do you want to go on stream?" And he's like, "No." Great.
Alex Bertha, the 186 is running that.
Yeah.
Chewy, a pod, and some A-wings.
Okay. And is that what he was running today?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was he doing last time you spoke to him?
He was doing all right.
Yeah, he's winning.
Right. I think he was 2-1. So.
All right. Okay. Has Alex Burke got an invitation to Worlds already?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah, because he got from Cardiff Hyperspace.
He won Cardiff Hyperspace. So there
he's second, but Julian already had.
Oh right. Okay. Does it work like that? In Hyperspace? In Hyperspace, Charles? Okay. All right. That'll be where I got the impression that both players got it. Because I was under the impression at the beginning that like both players that got to the final got the invitation. And they were like, no, it's just one. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so 2 turns to the right from the Epsilon Squadron Cadet. From one of them, anyway.
Yeah. Ooh. Moved it so carefully,
and
then
long weekend of playing 7 TIE FOs. We'll scramble your brains. It's like those old adverts now, right? This is your brain. Yeah. This is your brain on drugs with the frying pan and the egg, right? This is your brain. It's the same thing. Like you get out the egg and say, "This is your brain," and this is your brain after the weekend of playing 7 a TIE FO swarm and smashed it.
The one example of that would be this list. Did you see Dan Tara's list? Dan Tara's list. He was running an FO swarm.
Yeah.
All painted different colours.
Yeah.
Very vibrant.
Yeah.
That's your head.
The rainbow swarm, yeah? That would make things easy for me if they were all different colours.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to mark them up.
No, exactly. It's easy. You just call them red, pink, blue, and that's it. The difficulty is trying to get so many colours that are visually distinct, because you get like the primary colours, red, green, blue and yellow, but then after that it starts, you get orange, you get purple, and then it starts getting more difficult to find colours that are so distinct from others. Light blue, dark blue, stuff like that. They end up being very similar, and on certain conditions, on certain lighting conditions, it can be a bit difficult to tell the difference.
Well, I'm colourblind, so I'm just taking your word that they're different colours.
Oh, right, okay.
Please
Okay, you see the little donuts around the base. You've probably seen me put them on anyway, but yeah. So that's the way I'm trying to keep track of it. But yeah, as well with the fact that like the Thai FOs, like 2 of them are FOs and the other 2 are SFs, and the other 4 are SFs, and that's making it just as complicated.
So Jonas just looks like he's trying to escape.
And I will shoot first. You guys.
Okay. 4 minutes left in the round. 4.5 minutes left in the round. 2 hits, 2 blanks.
I'm shooting you.
Sticking a barrage rocket into the rear FO.
Yeah. Looks like there's 2 blanks and a focus.
Does he have bullseye?
Maybe. Actually, it's maybe. No, that's maybe. I think it's.
Let's take the longer one.
No, it's out.
No. No rerolls.
No reroll there. So does he spend the focus? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's just 1 hit to me. And he gets an evade.
Yeah.
So yeah, no damage.
He has to spend the focus. He's not getting the he's
Now, could
only the 1
this
shot
be
back.
2 hits? Rolls a blank and a focus again.
That's half points.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they go back to Dars.
You can count off. Yeah.
Lucas, you where? Whoa, Lucas, come here.
Good news.
Have they told you what happens?
If I win.
Yeah, no, not if you win.
If what?
Right, so the winner gets a flight and hotel paid for, right?
Yes, yeah, I've
okay.
heard, yeah.
But Francois run the national, so he already has a flight paid for.
Okay.
So
I get it anyway.
You get it anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right,
Wow.
so congratulations.
Thank
You're going
you.
to the World Championship.
So now I have to go.
You have to go now. Yeah, don't let me down. Okay. So you get yourself over there, and we'll get set up as soon as this game's finished. Look, it's your teammates trying to talk to you.
Yeah. And Fabian is very excited because both of them are members of Team Switzerland for the upcoming XTC.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
So,
So Team Switzerland got involved as well. Awesome.
So they're good friends. So
Yeah. So there we go. Right. But even so, he knows now he's got a flight. We're gonna have him fight tooth and nail for that glass trophy. And the hotel, of course. Yeah. Right.
So a few hundred euros worth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, if you're going to travel from Europe, try and get there for at least a week, like beforehand, to acclimatise yourself. Because I get tired of hearing these excuses like I was really tired and I messed up in the final and stuff like that. So yeah, do make sure you get there nice and early, and so it will be expensive to take a hotel. Yes, let me point out to you as well that means that Francois Corre, a very close personal friend of mine, he has no problem appearing on stream. Lucas has already been on stream twice today, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for him at all. So Lucas is almost definitely going to be on stream. So yeah, we've got the final confirmed to be on stream. So don't worry about that. We will be watching the final. 4 U-Wings against... What's he got again? Hatchet Man, Vader and Jenden. Yeah.
And Vinder.
Yeah, Vader, Vinder, Jenden. Yeah. Ooh. Right, that's time on the round.
Time.
Yeah, they just noticed time because they're running on a separate clock because of the hassle with me having to change over from main event to Hyperspace. It took us a little bit longer to get going. Okay.
So basically, Jender needs to remove this off the board.
Yep. Woo.
And not die.
So 1 blank, 2 blanks, and a focus.
Blank, yeah.
That's the third time he's rolled like that.
Because I don't think I can shoot you. Maybe. Yeah, I made that mark actually. Yeah. I will shoot you. Yeah.
1 hit. And evade. And a blank.
Rockets.
Wait. one reroll.
Rocket Man! Oh!
But yeah, you are.
Check for the gen and reroll.
Yeah, barrage rockets. One hit, one focus, and a blank
Reroll.
gets re-rolled for
Focus.
a crit. Hit, crit. Blank, evade. 2 damage, 1 face up. That was a console fire.
Okay, I have one shot left.
He's still got to engage.
Is he, yeah, he's taken 3 damage cards.
He's
Yeah.
there, Zäch.
Yes, he's there.
Yeah.
2 hits and a blank. Spends a target lock to re-roll the blank.
Target lock.
Sorry.
It was on him.
Yes.
This is on the scimitar and gets. That looks like that's it. I'm not sure if
I
he.
don't know if it was a victory else.
I guess it looked like 2 blanks, right?
Yeah. So
Well,
David wins.
Yeah, he takes the. He takes.
52.
Right, yeah, David wins. Anyway. Thank you, Stephen, for joining me.
Thank you for having me,
Right,
Simon.
that was a mess up in the head. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
Next time.
Let me go speak to them.
Euros if you're there, and if not,
Yeah, so 448. Wait, yeah. So you destroyed 148.
And you didn't destroy 19 and 199 minus 19 is 98. I think you would have won by like 180.
180.
They killed Jonas in the end, right? Yeah. Well done, David. Well done.
A fun game, I guess.
Let's go over it here quickly. This has to be really quick. Right here.
I drop anyway.
I didn't swear on the street, so I don't get a warning. So, you lost. It's a shame, right? It was a pretty good game, no? And you were able to pull it off. There were some parts where you were winning and you had a more favourable situation,
Yes.
but wasn't able to hold it down.
Then he turned around again.
Yeah.
He turned around again.
In your case, David, what do you think was the key moment where you win?
It's hard to say because it was so much variance.
Yeah.
And in one moment he got variance.
When you got the loose stabilizer on Jonas?
Yeah, now I feel like it's good.
Yeah.
But I was really scared because I had a lot of shifts that were low health.
Yeah.
I rolled in 100 meters.
These direct hits from
Yeah.
both 2 ships died of direct hits.
Okay. So then that means now you can see your teammate is getting ready to play in the final, yeah?
Yeah, I will drop anyway, so I.
Do you know what happened?
Yes, everything.
Does he tell you what happened? He's got the flight.
Everything about the motion.
Francois has a flight for the World Championship already for winning the national. Okay? So, if he wins, he gets the prize here, which is the flight and the hotel, which means the flight he has goes there. Are you sure? 2 minutes?
It's nice.
Even so, that said, right? That said, and I'll talk about this before the final, right? Lucas, that doesn't mean we go easy, okay? You're gonna mess him up, okay? And Francois, you're gonna mess him up, okay? Right? You're playing for the trophy. You're playing to be the winner, right? The flight's